One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg Russ. I say it every time, but look back at this show. Was there one topic? There was not. This was probably the most egregious.
Yeah, this was many
deviation
topics.
Of. You should say, "Welcome to Potato Sandwich."
Welcome to Potato Sandwich, where we talk about whatever.
Much better.
Hello. Happy Easter.
Oh, yeah. Easter, the holiday I don't think much about.
I don't really either, but I have kids, so I have to think about it a little bit.
Yeah, as a kid, it was nice to get some candy and a few small presents on Easter, but even as a kid, I was like, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's just another thing that we do for the kids.
Well, even the way I'm talking about it, we're losing sight of its true meaning.
That's true. He is risen.
I've never
Why
really...
do they phrase it like that? He is risen.
Because he's still alive. I don't know. It's an act that's still in the happening.
What?
It just gives him more weight. He has risen. It's just a small event that happened. He is risen.
And also, it doesn't really make sense because he died for our sins or whatever, but then he really just spent the weekend dead.
I wonder what it was like for him. Was it a rest? I mean, the life he was living, it probably was peaceful.
Yeah, he was having to do a lot. He was like healing lepers and the blind.
Maybe he was annoyed.
Yeah, he was annoyed by
He took his father's name in vain when he came back to life. God damn it.
Gotta do this more. And he's like, oh, sweet, I'm leaving. Bye.
And it's like, I found some peace and quiet, and now I'm back. Wonderful. Thank you.
I don't have to deal with all these zealots.
And then everyone said, we will never forget this day. And then every year the day changes.
Because it's not.
Shh.
Yeah.
Shh.
It was a way to please the pagans.
Shh.
That's why there's like a rabbit and there's eggs. It doesn't make sense. Because it doesn't.
Shh.
Huh?
Shh. Hasa akanao.
What's that mean?
Shh. Is that Japanese? No, that's Wonka Wash spelled backwards.
Oh my God.
I don't know why the shh made me think of it.
What did you watch that recently? That part has never stuck in my brain.
Not recently, but last time I did see it, I paid more attention to that line. It's just a funny exchange. It's just weird. They go through the car wash. It is so weird. I think filming that scene in general, where they're on that machine shooting out the suds everywhere, would be fun. I'm
surprised it didn't get cut.
Yeah, you think it didn't add anything to the film?
I don't think it really did. Do you think it added something?
Yeah, sure, it would have worked without.
Yeah,
but if you
it was just a way for them to get to Mike TV's part, I think.
Yeah, but if you follow the structure of the rest of the film, going from room to room, they showed a lot of those. They showed the boat going from the main room to the inventing room, and then they took the walk to the goose room, and during that walk is when Grandpa and Charlie stole the fizzy lifting drinks.
Yep.
So
they bumped into the ceiling that now has to be washed and sterilized, so they get nothing.
So I think it would be weird just to cut to the TV camera room.
I guess. I understand they have to get from one place to another. And whatever. It doesn't detract. I'm just thinking about it now, like, it didn't really do a whole lot. I mean, it is kind of, what was that foam?
I mean,
it's so foamy.
What was it actually?
Yeah.
I don't know. I should look that up. The trivia of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate.
It looks like marshmallow fluff almost.
Hasawa Akanoa. Is that Japanese? No, that's Wonka Wash spelled backwards.
That Mike TV was annoying. I didn't like it.
And then Grandpa Joe just slips in there. Finest bath I've had in 20 years.
Why did he say that? Oh, because he's never been out of bed.
He hasn't been in a bath in a long time. There's a lot crammed into this. So yes, I think that's why I like it, because there's no real point to it. It just happens. But
yeah,
I've never paid attention to the exchange after they go through it, and there's a few funny things that are said. It's just rapid fire.
Sure. Okay. I get it.
The fact that he says it backwards. This woman who's a teacher who thinks she's smarter than other people.
She's like, I know the compose. That's Rachmaninoff.
Yeah, or when he's talking about Loompa. I teach geography.
Oh, and then like she gives him shit about the where the Oompa Loompas are from. She's like,
yeah, that was that one. He says Loompa Land. Shit, there's no such place.
Yeah.
And then she says, I teach geography, or I'm a geography teacher, one of the two.
I'm a teacher, maybe. Yeah.
Is that Japanese?
If she actually knew anything about Japanese, it doesn't sound Japanese at all.
The whole, last time I watched it too, the signing of the contract. The parents don't sign it, which bothered me.
Oh.
And all the children are minors, so their signing of the contract's not going to mean anything.
That's right.
He needed to get.
He can't make a contract with a minor.
No,
I learned that from Judge Judy.
Granted, we don't know where this was. What this world was. It wasn't really the United States.
Yeah, it was Germany.
Well, yes, but
that's why it was difficult to find German little people, because it was Germany.
I don't know where it's supposed to be set for real, though. Just know it's nondescript. I think that was why they they went to Germany because it was cheap as fuck.
Yeah.
World War II actually was, 25 years prior, something like that. When did that movie come out? Maybe 30 years prior. And whatever the budget for the movie was, it's like, we don't want to spend doing this. Like, we'll go to Munich. It's like, okay. What's that going to cost? Not much, tell you that. But it contributed to the idea where they didn't want it to be a recognizable place.
That makes sense, because then they could sort of make it a little fantastical, but it's not a recognizable place. But I mean, I think we all can see that it's European. And then all like the weird overdubbing of like Slugworth, like there's weird about it. But I guess it's all kind of accepted weirdness.
There's a lot of overdubbing in general.
That's
a lot
true,
of Wheelie's lines are 80 yard, you can tell. But I honestly
a lot of whose lines?
Willy Wonka's.
Oh, Willie's lines? So he said.
Yeah, a lot of Willie's lines. Again, going back to the Wonka mobile, when is he singing during it? He's reciting something.
Yeah, what is he saying?
All this foam is just flying in his face. You can tell they recorded that after the fact.
Oh, well, yeah.
But he didn't break character. I guess at the end. They shot it in Munich mostly, and on a set, obviously.
Yeah.
The set that stunk because the chocolate river went rancid.
That chocolate river was not great looking.
Well, you can't have actual chocolate in there, and it was a little too watery, but for whatever reason they did, I think, put some sort of dairy in there, which went bad and caused the whole set to stink.
Okay.
And then even some of the stunts, like Augustus falling into the river. I feel like these days, like, we can't have, no, it's got to be CGI'd. We can't have the kid fall into the river of chocolate. Well,
it would have to be a small man, like one of the Oompa Loompas dressed as fucking...
Yeah, it would be a stunt person.
Yeah.
It was even him in that tube. Well, once he goes in the tube, or the close-up, that would be easy to cheat. Like his whole body doesn't need to be in the tube. But there is a wide shot that looks like him in the tube.
And they're in Germany. They're like, put the kid in the tube. And I don't think that kid spoke English. I think he like memorized his lines phonetically. Hungry. How many lines does he have? 4?
He's like Andre the Giant.
How do you feel? Hungry.
I feel like that casting, as they were going through, I was like, we'll figure that out once we get to Germany. We'll just go on the street.
We'll find some sausage child.
We'll go on the street and we'll find a kid.
Yeah, it'll be no problem.
But when they're in the inventing room, Mike TV, I think he's messing around with the explosive candy that's supposedly...
Oh, that's right.
Supposedly good for your enemies, which is something that I feel like they wouldn't even put in a movie these days to begin with.
Like, because it's like teaching kids to have enemies and to like sabotage them and explode something in their mouth.
He goes flying back into this rack of pots, and it's actually him. It's not like it's the biggest stunt in the world, but just one of these things where it feels like safety has gone overboard. I'm like, no, we can't. It's good. Put the stunt guy in a wig. We'll do some forced perspective to make him look smaller than he really is, and he'll be the one who flies into the pots.
I mean, it was a time when maybe at the peril of a child that they would make things look better. So I don't know where I would stand on that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, it looks better, and I hate all this CGI. But if that kid got hurt doing that, it'd be like, why did they let him do that?
Germany.
80s Germany.
70s.
Oh, 70s. Was it 70?
Well, that's why earlier I didn't remember when it came out. So I said 25 years after World War II, but it's probably closer to 35. Willy Wonka release date.
I feel like it's got to be late 70s.
No, I said Willy Wonka release date, and they give me the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with the...
Oh, because they're paid by Big Pharma.
And now it's giving me the stupid one with Timothée Chalamet.
Oh, that one wasn't so bad.
I have to type in, it's bad because he's too happy. That's not...
I know. It wasn't the right, like, feeling of who he was, but...
71.
Oh, what?
So it was shot in 70.
God, I didn't know that. Maybe I'm sure I did know that at some point, but I did not remember that. That's crazy. I really felt like, I guess it makes sense. I mean, Gene Wilder does look like 70s Gene Wilder, but I just figured because it was such a thing for us, like our generation, that like it must have been closer to the 80s.
Man, he wasn't even 40 yet. He was younger than us. He was 30. Well, if they filmed it in 70, he was 37.
Sure. Did you ever watch the Red Letter Media about the making of that movie?
No, but I'm very tempted to mock the voice.
Well, it wasn't Mr. Plinkett. It was Review.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Did they make fun of it? I don't want to watch them making fun
No,
of
it's
it.
great. They appreciate it so much.
Like
when they talk about all kinds of stuff. You should watch it. It's really good.
When Veruca falls into the bad egg pit.
What about it?
That's just another. I'm sure it wasn't that far of a fall, and there was some padding immediately below. But still, like, yeah, just open it up, take your feet out from under, and she'll fall. Don't care how. I want it. No. I was thinking about the last time I watched this. Obviously, I thought a lot.
Yeah,
it's a movie I've seen so many times in my life.
Yeah, but if you actually like stop and try and watch it with like new eyes,
which is what I did.
Yeah,
and really wanted to pay attention to things, or just at least have thoughts, like the noise with the everlasting gobstopper machine.
Yeah.
If you just played that for me, just that noise with no context, I'd know what it is.
For sure.
It may take a second. It may take it. I was like, I know this. What is this? But I think it would come pretty quickly. If we were connected to the internet in some way, I'd find it. But I don't feel like holding the phone up to the mic.
That's great. Yeah. I wonder what other sort of sounds would be instantly recognizable for our gen.
There were
maybe like some like Nintendo noise or something.
Definitely video game noises.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a good question.
Maybe that.
What is that?
That's the Transformer sound. That's really hard to make.
I thought it was Tim Allen.
That's like
in Home Improvement.
And remember, sometimes he was like thoughtful with.
I put that on last night. It's on Netflix, and
really?
Well, I knew I was going to fall asleep. I was sitting on the couch.
Yeah.
Christina was at her parents, And instead of going to bed, I don't even know why I brought up Christina was at her parents. It was just, I guess, because the night was a bit different than a normal night.
Right, because you were like falling asleep on the couch instead of going to bed.
And I was tired, and I should have just gone downstairs, but I thought, no, I'm gonna stay up here. I know I'm going to fall asleep, so I'm just gonna put on Home Improvement because I don't care if I fall asleep to this.
Okay,
that was it. That was the extent of my story, but that's why it was top of mind, I guess. I still probably would have thought that when you made that noise. I probably still would have thought it was Tim Allen.
How does the theme song for that show go? I feel all I can hear is
but there's like a bunch of clanking and wrenches and shit going on in the background. It's like a bad George Thorogood song at the end. And then he does the noise. Created
his whole career.
Stop.
Yeah, is based on that sound.
I know people shit on that show, but the few episodes I did watch before I fell asleep, there were some good jokes in there.
I liked the show when I was a kid. Like we watched it. I watched it with my family.
I think that's why it did a good job of being a show that kids could like, that adults could like, with actual decent jokes in it. Unlike Full House, which was just cheesy as fuck.
Oh yeah, I still enjoyed Full House a lot though when I was a kid.
Did too. I'm not saying that I didn't.
Yeah.
But as my tastes evolved and I got older and Home Improvement came out.
Oh yeah.
But there's plenty of people that shit on it, I think, like it was Big Bang Theory.
I didn't know that anyone had opinions like that about Home Improvement.
People have strong opinions about Tim Allen in general, and I think a lot of it's just based in his politics in his later life.
What are his politics?
He's conservative. I don't even think he's ever come out in any extreme way. He's just conservative, so people hate him.
Well, people are allowed to be conservative.
So everything he's done in his life is dismissed. Like even him playing Woody. No, not Woody.
Buzz.
Buzz. I guess he is coming back. And it probably wouldn't have made sense for him to do the voice in the standalone Buzz Lightyear movie. Maybe it would have. Why wouldn't it have been him?
Yeah, why wouldn't it?
I think that was part of the rebellion against him. It's like, no, we can't. He's not cool right now. He's not a draw anymore.
Oh.
But that dude was arrested.
I have not heard this at all.
That dude was arrested for selling cocaine.
For doing cocaine.
What's cooler than that?
So cool. 80s coked out Tim Allen.
And to come back from it.
And Galaxy Quest. I love Galaxy Quest.
I was never into the Santa Claus movies, which is surprising because that fucking first one came out in 94, so I was 12.
I remember when I was, when it did come out, I watched it, and I remember thinking it wasn't going to be that good, and then I was like, wow, it's so good. And then I watched it this year, I think, with the kids, and I was like, whoa, this is so bad.
Oh, it is bad, huh?
I did not. I mean, it was just like another bad. It was like the way that I expected it to be as a kid, but it got me as a kid. And then, there's some real bad computer. I don't. It's not on the same level of CGI. You know what I mean? It's like cartoon, sort of like he goes into the chimney,
Mm-hmm.
and the way that he like turns into a string. Like to get into the chimney is real bad.
It was early days.
That's what I mean. Yeah, it was early days. So I'll forgive it.
It was early days, but we still had Jurassic Park, which came out before it.
That is a great point.
We've talked about this
budget,
before,
though, for Santa Claus.
We've talked about this before. That the CGI, well, part of it is most of it's practical effects. The dinosaurs are only on screen like 18 minutes or something. And the CGI, I guess the velociraptors in the kitchen, when the T-Rex is chasing them in the Jeep, and the fight scene at the end where the raptors come in and attack the T-Rex. Well, it's the opposite. The T-Rex comes in and eats the raptors because the raptors are about to pounce on them, and then they fight.
Yeah.
And then the people scramble
They get a
away.
chance to escape.
But even those scenes look pretty good. But the world itself wasn't all CGI.
Right.
And you get into the new movies where the jungle's CGI, the dinosaurs are on screen for, an hour of the movie.
Yeah.
Some visual effects artist was saying, it's like, no, this is actually really good if you understand anything about creating this, because every blade of grass is fake. And there's physics involved in coloring and shading,
Sure,
shadows, all the movement. Like, this is actually good stuff. It's like, well, I don't give a shit if it's good. It doesn't. It's a cartoon at this point.
it can be really good, but your brain still can see that something is off and that it's not really there. And there's nothing that they can do about that except make it really there. Your brain can tell. There's nothing wrong with that in the way that, like, oh, then the CGI is not good. It's just like with all this AI stuff. It's like you can kind of tell.
The AI is getting better, though.
It is. It is getting better. Just like CGI is getting better, but you can still tell,
I wish I knew more about it to speak to it in a meaningful way. I don't know if like with the progression of CGI is, other than AI will take over and all those people who used to do it by hand are now just going to be putting in prompts, and then it'll be done by AI, and it'll probably be a more time consuming process because AI will get it wrong, and then you'll have to change your prompt and figure out what other words to put in or which ones to drop or where to put an emphasis, and then you scream at it until it gets it right. But you can pay those people less. It's not as much of a skill. That is the skill you're going to have to learn, though. People talking about AI replacing jobs. It'll replace jobs. You still need people to prompt the shit.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're all just going to be prompt writers, adjusting nonstop because you don't like the result that it gives you. And the render time, you get to a point where it's going to take a while for it. I guess that's why it's taking up all this electricity.
Right.
It needs a lot of computing power. And the more powerful computers you create, so you can do this in a shorter amount of time, the more we're going to drain the electric grid. And it's all going to go dark like Puerto Rico.
Yeah, other countries will have to deal with that, not us.
I guess Puerto Rico just lost all its power.
No, what do you mean?
Yeah, there was a power outage. I don't know what
do you
caused
mean? In
it.
the entire, like, everywhere in the country?
Yeah, the entire island had no power.
Oh. Damn.
Well, the power grid has just been destroyed by hurricanes over the years, but this
Right.
was just, I don't know what caused this one. I didn't look into it. So good of me to bring up on the show, bringing up a headline that I don't know the details, because I was just in Puerto Rico and I kept saying "Gringo, go home" to myself and to Christina.
Right.
And then I saw it spray painted on a wall twice after I said it.
I thought you said it because you saw it on the wall.
No. I know that they don't want people. Any place, I was going to say any place that cruise ships pull into, I don't feel as though the locals like that. But I hesitated because there's a lot of money to be made. So there's plenty of people.
Yeah. I mean, people's whole jobs are catering to tourists.
But Gringo, go home. I could feel it. So anyway.
Maybe the people that do rely on the tourists are like, they don't agree with that because they're like, no, we need the gringos here because they bring all their stupid money and they buy our stupid trinkets.
A lot of people feel that way, but the people who don't benefit, who hate the gringos.
Yeah.
You stole our culture.
What culture? Stole the culture?
Yeah, what culture? The culture that's like any suburban town in America with a fucking Walgreens?
Oh, so you're saying like they don't have the culture anymore because...
There's still culture there, but because it's an American territory, it's got a lot of the same shit you find in any American city.
Oh, sure.
It's like you can pretend.
Cool. Like, that's cool.
That's fine.
Pharmacies and stores and stuff, but it does take away any sort of maybe genuineness because it's just copy and pasting another culture on top of this place. And it's like, you're like us now.
And then all the dumb people on the cruise ship go to the Walgreens because they know it and trust it.
I want to check out the Walgreens in this country.
Instead of going to another store. Like, oh, Walgreens. I feel safe at Walgreens.
It's a store that I recognize, and all the stuff is in the same place that I know.
Hey, I'm guilty. Forgot to put on deodorant getting off the ship. And I had to go buy some. So the Walgreens
thank God there was a Walgreens.
Proved to be beneficial. Anyway, I don't want to. We talked about the cruise and everything. I don't even know how I got there. Power grid. Because, somebody said, all the power went out. You're lucky that didn't happen when you were there. And I said, I didn't know that this happened. Shows I don't fucking pay attention to anything. CGI
I wonder if people
sucks.
were angry off the cruise ship that the power wasn't, like that there was no power in the country.
I assume that they either canceled that.
Like, I want my money back for my excursion.
That was the one thing. Puerto Rico didn't really have excursions. It's too big of an island. It wasn't like going to some small place. It's
okay.
like, hey, you booked this ferry. It's going to take you to the other side of the island, away from the cruise ship, to a beach. It's going to cost you $300.
Is that how much excursions were?
Well, there's the official ones that you can book through the boat, and then the ones you can book yourself. And, they try to scare you. These are sanctioned excursions. If you book them through us, you know what you're going to get. You're at your own risk with these petty thieves and criminals. They don't say that.
That's right. In these weird countries that we're taking you to, these crazy, weird countries. These savage countries where they look different than you and they don't speak your language.
Except they do, because it was the British Virgin Islands.
Yeah.
They
speak more languages than you.
Yes, Puerto Rico is the one where they didn't speak English. Plenty of people obviously do speak English there, but Tortola, everyone, that's the English. That's what they speak. But Disney would want you to think otherwise. Don't do it. We need our skim. You pay us 3 times the amount. We pay them actually less than you would pay them. We take the 80%.
But we provide them with customers.
Yeah.
So they could not work with us and then be at their own sort of risk of not getting people. But they have like a guarantee that we are going to like tout them and you're like verified through us. So you're going to get more business than if you just did it on your own without us.
More money. We're Disney. We don't have enough. We have to make up for all the money we lost with Snow White. That movie...
Did you watch it?
Yeah, on the ship I watched it. Whatever. A
lot of people were talking about her acting and how it was really strange because she would like do this underbite thing.
I don't know. I didn't pay attention. I'm gonna have to go back and watch.
Yeah.
Just going back to what we were talking about. This is live action. No, it's not. It's one person who is.
It's not even like Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
No, because there were actual sets.
Yeah. And people interacting with real things.
I'm standing on a set in front of a green screen with a table in front of me. And everything else will be added in after the fact.
Yeah.
You have to give some credit. It's got to be fucking hard to act like that.
Yeah, I would imagine.
When you're on set, you can immerse yourself into the scene. You're like, all right, well, this is my world. That's like, you got to imagine your world too while you're acting. Because none of this shit exists.
Yeah.
What about
look at this tennis ball. That's the person you're acting with.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Or James Gunn's brother, who on set acts as Rocket Raccoon in the Guardians movies.
He does?
He's like crawling around and moving his arms. Like, Rocket. And then we'll get Bradley Cooper's voice, and everyone will say, "That's Bradley Cooper? What the fuck?"
People didn't know it was Bradley Cooper?
It sounded nothing like him.
Oh.
Rocket sounded nothing. And then Vin Diesel's Groot. And he gets paid millions of dollars.
I didn't know that when I first watched it.
To say I am Groot, but you don't understand because he's saying I am Groot, but he has a script with what those lines actually mean. And the inflection he gives, the performance. It's not something you or I could do because he's saying complex sentences, full thoughts, expressing real feelings, but all he can do is say I am Groot. So he's able to relay that.
Wow.
Shut the fuck up. I don't get fuck you.
I'm sure that there were some lines that he put like effort and thought into, But I'm sure that there were others where it's like, just I am Groot. Like, he's just going to say it.
I just don't like people who explain it to that extent. Like, shut up. No.
Well, they're drinking the Kool-Aid. You know what I mean? It's like the propaganda of the movie. And they're talking about it like they thought of it and they appreciated it. It's like, no, you heard about it. And you're like, yeah, I know that. And then you take it as your own.
That movie didn't bother me so much. Those movies.
No, I loved that first one.
Being so CGI. I guess because it's set in space and it's not our world. It's like, all right, this is fine with me. But then when you come back to New York and it's clearly Atlanta, and then they do wide shots that have buildings that you recognize in Atlanta, but then they paint in all these New York buildings. What the fuck?
Which was that in this movie or in one of these movies?
They shoot all that.
Movies?
No, not the Guardians. The Guardians is like I was saying. I'm fine with the Guardians because it's set in a place I don't know, and it's more sci-fi fantasy. So the fact that things aren't as real doesn't bother me as much as when they're showing New York and it's Pinewood Studios, whatever the hell it is. Is that what the studio in Georgia is?
I don't know. Made in Georgia.
Yeah, the big peach. You want the tax break? You got to put the big fucking peach in the credits.
Big butt cheeks.
It's not like the water tower.
The big butt.
What was I? Oh, Suits. Since I've been watching Suits.
Oh man, you're watching all kinds of weird shit.
I didn't tell you I was watching Suits.
You did, but then you were also because we were talking about you watching Home Improvement, which is interesting.
Going back to, I'm jumping around now. Let me get my Suits thought out.
Okay,
that's set in New York, and they shoot it in Toronto, which most people, I guess, don't. Most people aren't going to notice, but
no, I don't know Toronto's like skyline well enough.
And they do plenty of establishing shots in New York.
Yeah.
So when they're on the street, Toronto is a big enough city. And dense enough where I guess you can pull it off. But, when you live here, if you're familiar, like that's not here. Mm-hmm. Just always bothers me. It takes something away. I know it's more expensive to shoot in New York. That shows production costs probably would have tripled.
Yeah.
You get tax breaks for shooting in Canada. It's easier to close streets in Toronto, I guess. Or maybe they're happy to do it. Yeah, thank you for filming here. We don't give a shit.
Oh, thank you.
We'll inconvenience all the people who live here. Because you're filming Suits, 9 seasons of the show, where the last 2 seasons, the main dude, one of the main dudes, Mike, the guy who doesn't have a law degree, who practices law anyway.
What? That's illegal.
He's gone because he's married to Meghan Markle, and they just leave the show. And there's 2 seasons without them. It's like, all right, why you?
Because Meghan Markle left the show.
Yeah, he also said that he felt as though his character had run its course. He did everything he needed to do with it. But that was around the time.
He's not in charge of the character. Wouldn't that be like the writers that decide that kind of thing? But
he was married to Meghan in the show. And
right.
Because she was leaving, because she was about to go destroy the royal family. Which is what I think about when I watch those early seasons. Like, man, you don't know what your future is. Your future is you're going to destroy the royal family.
It's so strange.
Not that I care.
Well, she didn't destroy anything.
Well, she caused a lot of problems.
She did, but I wouldn't give her the credit of destroying anything.
And I also, I don't want to place it all on her. Apparently, the media was awful to her.
Well, the media is awful in England, right? They do a lot of shit talking.
Yeah. Yeah, it gets pretty bad.
Yeah.
I don't even know if there's like a reputable newspaper. You can make all the arguments you want. Washington Post, New York Times, like, are those reputable? But at some point in their histories, it's like those are trusted sources. They report the news. Like, there's not like an equivalent in London to the New York Times. It just seems like all their reporting is rag reporting. It's like, we're just gonna shit on people.
Meghan Markle's looking rather fat these days.
You want real news? Tune into the Sky
Is
Network.
She pregnant? No, she's just a little piggy.
Little did I know. Little did she know. Little did any of us know. She was about to rip the royal family apart.
People give her too much credit.
Well, she latched onto that weak Harry.
Harry Potter.
Whatever you say, Megan.
Well, I mean, there's no way. Like, why do we give him the pass?
What do you mean?
Like, why do we say that, like, oh, it's such a weird, like, patriarchal, biblical bullshit thing where it's like, oh, he just followed her along and she is the one that's like ruining everything. It's like, no, they did it together. It wouldn't have worked if it was just her.
We clearly have no insight into any of it, but it's easy. It's easy to think that Harry was lost after the death of his mom, being the younger brother, knowing he's never going to be king, probably discarded quite often, or at least felt that way.
Yeah.
Growing up, the rest of the family is all focused on his brother. It's like, ooh, he's the future king, but we still got this queen, so you're still 2 people removed because the queen won't die, and then it's your dad. But again, I know nothing about him. I don't know where this is coming from. I don't follow any of that closely.
I know. I just don't like the idea that it's like, oh, she's the one. And he had nothing to do with it. And he's a passive sort of.
That's the feeling. Where does that feeling come about him? Like,
because we live in a society that's raised on the Bible and how like Eve ate the apple.
You think that's where it comes from? I think just the few things of Harry that I saw, it's like, okay, he's dressing up like Hitler. He's naked in a Las Vegas hotel room, which whatever, people do that. And I know the photos were stolen like from across the way with a telephoto lens. But it's like, all right, this guy is all over the place. And yeah, he was young and he was stupid during a lot of this. And we all did stupid things. But at least for me, I guess it's like, yeah, this guy, he's had a tough life. And there's a lot of people who probably say, oh, boo-hoo, you're a part of the royal family. You have everything you could want. And so she comes in, and because he doesn't know who he is and there's a lack of identity and he doesn't have a path, she's able to easily manipulate him, grabs him by the hand and leads him like when, what's his name in Sex and the City? His mom touches his hand.
Bunny. Trey.
Yeah. when Trey can be manipulated by a woman touching his hand and telling him what to do. So it feels the same way. Valid or not, I think that's where that comes from.
Yeah. I mean, right. But then that all comes from, I still think it comes from like a patriarchal weird thing where it's like the woman is the one that makes it or breaks it. And the men are just like, no, I have no, like I have no agency. It's like, well, the wife made me do it. Got to listen to the wife.
It's definitely unfair to say, because the way it is presented, it's like Meghan saw Harry, viewed him as a mark. Oh, he's my ticket in to this whole other world. And he's so weak. He's such a pussy. I can tell him what to do.
What's even worse? That's like treating him even worse.
Yeah, but there really is this idea that there's not really love there. There can't be love. It wasn't. These two don't like each other. She saw.
Oh God, excuse me.
She saw an opportunity and took it, and he's just too stupid to realize what's going on.
See, I don't believe that at all.
I like to believe it because it's fun, but
yeah,
you're right. I know she was treated horribly, and then
that doesn't make it an excuse to say like. To behave in these sort of contradictory ways. That doesn't mean that she doesn't deserve like ridicule for that. But I don't like the idea that it's like all her fault and that he had nothing to do with it. And then again, like it's this thing where it's like women are the ones who ruin things. Men are pussy whipped. It's like, no, they're fucking not. They are making choices to do that. Women are just, women are also a part of that too.
Oh, Harry wants to play helicopter pilot. Because he wants to try to pretend he's a normal person. They never even let him go see action in the war. But they said, here, Harry, here's a look, here's a helicopter. Go fly it around this test course. And he's like,
thank you. This is fun.
I'm just like any normal person. And then Meghan comes onto the scene.
Oh, that bitch. He didn't want to leave his family. He didn't.
Well, after the fact, they became very pretentious. And then
Absolutely.
And then when they're getting millions of dollars to do nothing, like then there's just jealousy. It's like, what? Huh?
Yeah. It almost feels rude. It's like, who do you think you are? Oh wait, I guess you are someone, but still, doesn't seem right.
But you can't blame them because any of us would take that kind of money in that situation. Who are the idiots giving them that money?
Yeah.
And are you really able to make a return on your investment? That's what I don't understand. Like, how is this beneficial to you to give them millions of dollars to do something that they're going to half-ass or maybe not even do at all, like the podcast? And if that's the case, then you'd say, okay, well, they fucked us over, but then they get signed for new things.
Yeah. I don't get it. You're right. That's another thing. It's like, don't blame them. They're the ones that are just if you offer them, it's like, yeah, we're going to do this podcast. But then I guess it's also crazy because it's like, well, you're going to do this podcast and they're just going to give you a bunch of money, but you're not even going to really try. Like, you're not going to do anything.
Yeah, so you can judge them for that.
Yeah, for sure.
Same with Hawk Tua.
Yeah.
It's easy to shit all over her. And I don't think she's talented. And I think it would be nice for her to say, it's like, I have nothing to offer. I'm just a fucking drunk idiot, or I was a drunk idiot.
She should have just let it sort of be what it was instead of, but I guess, like you said, it's like, well, take the money.
Definitely take the money. I'm not saying she shouldn't take the money, but when you hear that somebody's been given that much money, or even outside of that, getting recognition and getting, shows and things like that people who have real talent are striving to do. And like, what? Just because I wasn't out drunk one night and said this really stupid fucking thing that wasn't that funny at all. And for whatever reason, there was an overreaction by the general public who acted like it was the most hilarious thing they'd ever heard in their lives. It's like, but for her, it's like, yeah, okay, take the money. But can you also admit that you're really lucky?
Maybe she has admitted that.
Maybe she has. I don't follow her that closely.
I don't either.
But in those situations, it is the easy way out to shit on the person.
Yeah, for sure.
It really is the systems. Like, who are these people saying that we got to jump on board?
Yeah. It's just any little bit of scrap of money. It's like, well, let's get it. It's just like everything right now, right? Where it's, it doesn't really matter if it's good. Enough people will give us money for it, and then we'll just
it's all CGI'd.
Yeah,
we live.
Yeah, it's the movies. It's the same with all these movies, like Minecraft the movie. It's a recognizable name, and so, well, okay, I don't know if that's actually good or not. Like, the kids seem to enjoy it. So,
as far as that goes, as far as Minecraft the movie goes, if there's an audience for it and kids like it,
yeah,
what the fuck do I care?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so I changed my mind on that. But like, I don't know. If they made like Snuggie the movie, right? It would be bad, but it would be some amount of money. If they didn't spend a whole lot of money on it, then some money would be made, hopefully enough to make money back plus. And then they could just finance their next movie.
Snuggie the movie.
Yeah.
Like the thing that people wear.
Yeah.
I mean,
it just came to mind because it's so dumb. Like,
there are
maybe
plenty
of
instances of blatant,
yeah,
shameless product placement movies where there was something to sell before the movie. I mean, Transformers is based on that, a toy line that had a cartoon that, yes, then became these movies. But I'm sure the toys didn't suffer from the movies, the Michael Bay movies coming out. And definitely Bud Light reaped the benefits in that one scene where the Bud Light truck is driving down the street and gets blown up. And then all the Bud Light bottles fly everywhere. And one of the Boston Burger Bros picks up the Bud Light and drinks it in the scene.
Whoa, is that in the first one?
I can't tell you if that's in the first one or which one.
I don't remember that at all.
You don't remember the Bud Light scene?
No.
Look up. This is where being an audio podcast only stinks, because we could have you watch it and react to it and then cut the video in. But just look up Bud Light scene Transformers.
Okay.
It's one of the most blatant.
Oh, it's Transformers 4. No wonder. Oh my God, he has like a Beats speaker.
Oh yeah, so this is like a
Oh,
video of all this product placement, but
yeah, this is clips.
as long as the Bud Light,
Oh, I saw the Bud Light. Okay, it exploded.
yeah.
Oh, they do like a little glamour shot of them on the ground.
Yeah, and there he is, one of the Wahlburgers, Boston Burger Bros. Which one is he? Oh, look, there's Goodyear tires right behind
Marky
his
Mark.
head. He's threatening this nerd.
Oh, he's opened the beer. He's drinking it.
Yeah. It's just
That made no sense. He's fighting with the guy he hit because the guy's asking him for insurance. And then he's like, you put insurance on a spaceship. And then he's like, oh yeah, you know what? And he opens up one of the beer bottles on the guy's car, takes like a foamy sip, and then just throws it away. And then he's like asking for something. It like doesn't even make sense.
It's so over the top.
It's real bad.
That you have to give a bit of credit. It's like, wow, you were that bold.
I mean, that's all any of those Transformers after the first one. The first one was kind of cool, right? It was what it was. It's like, that's the problem, is that like, okay, now I keep going both ways. Okay, because I was going to say that's the problem, because it starts out as something good, and then they make more just to make money, but then they still pretend like it's still going to be good. And it's like, maybe they don't. Maybe they just make it, and then it's like, well, they're going to give us money for it, so we're going to keep making it. And I'm putting the stuff on there of like, I'm projecting that they think that this is good.
There's a level to that Bud Light thing, and when it's really blatant,
yeah,
that I can appreciate. If you're being forced to do product placement, like, all right, like to me that would be me being a smart ass. Like, all right, you want the fucking product placement? Okay, I'm going to give you the product placement.
Yeah.
And it's so over the top. But Transformers, you can't make the argument because the whole movie is product placement.
True.
It was a toy line that they made a cartoon for to fool kids into buying more of the toys.
Did they really sell more toys though? Do kids even care about Transformers at all?
Oh, when we were kids. I don't know.
We were kids.
I don't know about these days. Like, so you're talking about
nowadays?
You're talking about the movies themselves. It's a bit different, but
yeah,
I'm sure there was a boost in Transformer sales after those movies. They came out with probably new product lines based on the movie characters.
I know, but like kids don't buy stuff like that. You know, like they want to buy stuff from like YouTube.
Well, you've got a bunch of adults who probably buy it these days.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but things like G.I. Joe. The Lego movies were weird because they were actually okay movies. The Batman Lego movie was a really good movie. I loved the
Lego movies.
Yeah, they had good stories.
And they have good songs.
I guess that's the way to do it. If you're going, it's like, okay, look, we're doing the Lego movie, and this is just promotion for Lego. But let's make a really good movie.
Okay.
That's a nice way to do it. Trolls.
Yeah, they had heart.
You ever watch the Trolls movies? I've never seen this.
I loved the Troll movie. Right. I watched the first one especially. I don't know if I knew the second one as much, but I love that first one.
So maybe that's the new trend. Hey, this was a toy. This was a product line. We're going to make some movies about it. It's like, well, let's do really good movies. It was like the time I wanted to make the chili with Lee, my friend Lee, for the Chomp and Stomp chili cook-off. The idea was, let's just make a really gross chili. We'll enter and people come and eat it and we'll laugh at them. It's like, that's stupid and easy. Anyone can do that. Let's try to make a really good chili with gross ingredients. And I don't think it worked so well, but that became the goal.
What were the gross ingredients? I forget.
1,000-year-old Chinese eggs, kind of ground up, dumped in there. Spearmint.
Oh.
What's the licorice?
Oh. Licorice?
It starts with an A.
Anise?
Yeah. I made you say it because I never know how to pronounce it.
Anise?
I don't know if it's that or anise. Anise or anise.
It's anise. Or star anise.
I knew what it was, but I made you say it.
I know, but it's hard.
But
that's my thing about Uranus. You can't really say it any way without saying something. Because you say your anus or you say Uranus and then you're saying urine.
It's not as bad as Uranus. But it also kind of sounds, everyone knows what you're doing in that Uranus. Like, okay, you're just avoiding saying Uranus.
I think the real way to say it is like Uranus. Like if you're Greek or something.
Well, you should start that campaign. Reach
Uranus.
out to Grass Tyson. He kicked Pluto out of the planetary family.
He sure did.
We could get the pronunciation of Uranus changed to a lesser extent because it's not anything like anus or Europe. Nevada is actually how you pronounce the state, not Nevada.
Nevada.
Anytime I say Nevada, I just feel like an asshole. And I
don't
know
like
why.
saying Nevada.
But that's the way it's pronounced.
Yeah, it's weird. Nevada. It sounds like I had a European friend of mine making fun of me once for the way I said banana. Because he says banana. And he was like, banana.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, shut up. But also, that makes sense if you're like the way you're saying Nevada. Sounds
banana.
like that.
Banana.
Banana. Nevada.
I want my banana creme pie.
Banana creme. I like my banana with creme, please. But now I think about it, it's like, I don't want to say, now it kind of sounds weird to say like Nevada. Oh, Nevada.
Yeah, there's an air of hoidiness to it.
Yeah, Nevada. All right, now I've lost all.
Wait, no, I got it confused. You were saying Nevada, and that's the one that kind of sounds.
That's the hoity-toity one, Nevada.
Yeah. But that's the one that most people say.
Yeah, that's the one I want to say.
And Nevada sounds.
Nevada.
Redneck.
Yeah.
Nevada. Go to Nevada.
Let's go over to Nevada.
Las Vegas.
Las Vegas. Well, all the weird ways. I think there's a bunch of those in California because of everything being Spanish.
Yeah.
I can't think of one right now. I was thinking of Rodeo Drive.
Rodeo.
I guess because that's the opposite because it's rodeo, but we say it rodeo because it's Spanish.
Just look at Ponce in Atlanta.
Ponce
de Leon. My favorite street in Atlanta.
Ponce de Leon. Well, what's the way to say it?
I don't know the proper way to pronounce it, but it ain't that.
I think it's Ponce de Leon.
Yeah, no one's going to say that.
No.
So you just say it wrong.
Just say it wrong. Ponce de Leon.
And then there's DeKalb, which I think it's the same person. I don't know.
Oh, all the different DeKalbs?
Yeah, up here it's pronounced DeKalb.
Yeah.
The L is pronounced down there. They've just dropped the L. DeKalb.
Yeah. I like DeKalb better than DeKalb.
I'm not saying that I don't.
Or DeKalb?
I'm not making the argument for DeKalb, but I couldn't just come up here and say DeKalb. People are like, what?
Right.
Who the fuck
DeKalb.
Are you? What the fuck? Get out of this city.
Yeah, who are you?
You imposter. I'm a real New Yorker because I was born here. I know this gets into the Eric territory where people have pride.
Oh, about being proud?
It is pretty stupid. And there's a lot of people in New York who's like, you'll never be an official New Yorker because you were born here. I think, if anything, you make the choice to move to a place and then you stay there a long time. You deserve being called the person of that place more so than the person who was just born there and made no movement in their fucking life. I get that.
Especially in New York because it's not such an easy place to live.
Yeah, a lot of people leave. That's why there's other people. The other rule is if you make it 10 years.
Yeah.
Then you can be in it. But you got those hardcore people like, nope, never.
Never. You'll never understand.
I was born here. Yeah, you had a lot of say in that, didn't you?
That's right.
Put in
you
a lot
fell
of work.
out of a lady in the Bronx.
And I get that when you already live here, if you're born in a small town and you never leave, and it's also maybe not completely fair, but you can say, all right, you no movement, no desire to change your life. But maybe you have a very nice life there, and there's things that you want to do, like take over the farm, and you're happy doing that.
Yeah.
It's harder to say the same thing for a person born in New York. Like, okay, I can see why you wouldn't move. So I can't give you that label as the person who was born at a place and decided not to do anything with their life and leave. Like, you could still definitely not do anything with your life, but
sure.
A lot of opportunity here. So
yeah,
can't come at you that way, but still you had nothing to do with it. So shut up.
It's a weird, like we got in and we didn't have to really do anything to get in. And so that makes me better because I feel bad kind of for not having to do anything to get in.
Well, apparently it's why Dominican people, and this is a very generalized statement,
Okay.
but Dominican people don't really like Puerto Ricans because Puerto Ricans, being a territory of the U.S., can just come to the United States and live here.
Oh.
And people from the Dominican Republic have to go through the process of getting, a green card.
When, like, is there such a huge difference between these two places?
No,
not really.
but
One's owned, one's not.
And I say this when I dated Christina, whose family's from Puerto Rico. Granted, she was born
Christina.
in New York. Yes, Christina 2, as she's known, because there was a Christy, but her full name was Christina. That was a Christina 1 back in like 2000. But she told me, she's like, no, people from the Dominican Republic really don't like a lot of Puerto Ricans because they think they just take it for granted and are lazy and didn't have to put in the work to be in the United States.
I mean, I guess in a way they have some. I mean, that's kind of true in some ways.
I mean, it's true in that you don't have to put in as much work, but that's an unfair starting point.
Right.
It's like,
the only validity is like if you work for it, I guess. But
I'm allowed to move to this place, but I'm going to go through all the same motions you're going to go through just to say, like, I don't even need to do these things. I'm going to go down to the immigration office and they say, what are you doing here? But I'm going to say,
there's nothing they can do about it.
Exactly. So it's kind of a dumb starting point. But people like to, I don't know, put other people down. They just like to find stupid things to grasp onto that make them feel a little superior to other people.
Yeah.
Across the board. And going back to Hawk Tuah or Harry and Meghan. Yes, part of me, actually the main motivator for me to put them down is there's the level of jealousy. It's like, I'm not saying that I'm super talented by any means.
Right. And you're not getting your break. And it's because people like them are holding you up. It's not that.
But there is a level of that. It's like, I'm not saying that I deserve anything myself. But if there's a hierarchy of this stuff, I would deserve more than you, Hawk Tuah. And yet here you are. What the fuck is that about? And then you go after the person and talk about how stupid and redneck they are, and they're just a drunk skank. And you really start to destroy them.
A drunk skank. Jesus Christ.
It's just a good
fucking bitch.
No, it's a good word. The hard consonants. Skank? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's 2 of them. That's why people like I'm not going to say it. It's funny, I'll say skank, but I won't say this other word.
Which one? Whore?
No. The C word.
Oh, cunt.
I don't know why I'm hesitating on that one.
Yeah. I feel like it's not a big deal, especially because the way that people say it in other countries, they treat it differently, and I think that's kind of cool.
It's a little more casual, just throwing about.
All right, you cunt. You want another pint?
But it's got hard consonants, so those always hit harder. Nice. It's always a nice thing. So going back to Home Improvement, I forgot to tell you some of the Home Improvement trivia. They go into the basement, and it's the same basement set that was used in The Cosby Show and Third Rock from the Sun.
What?
Yeah, they just have a basement set. They changed some things, so they look like different basements, but the general layout is the same. Stairs are in the same spot. But you can't talk about The Cosby Show anymore.
Man, that's really a shame. I feel like these things can exist at the same time.
The Cosby Show, though, I think you can't get past it. Can you really watch
The Cosby Show? Is so good.
Yeah, but can you really watch it and not think about Bill Cosby?
Of course, but then you kind of keep watching it, and then it's fine.
Yeah, but the whole thing is, I'm a good guy. There's good family values here. I was like, okay,
it's embarrassing.
You can't, even if it's called acting, you can't. That one's just too big to get past.
It's just so good, though, and it had such good messaging, and it's a shame to lose it just because of what he did.
It's hypocritical though, because the messaging came from him.
Yeah, it is. But that doesn't mean that it lost meaning. Right?
I guess not, but
Like, because it can still mean something to someone.
If you could watch it in a vacuum.
Be impactful as far as like
if you could watch it
Black
in a vacuum.
community.
Yes, if you watch it in a vacuum, but you can't. Somebody could be born and told nothing and have no curiosity about the show. So they would just watch it and then not do any research about it. And in that instance, you could argue that the messaging of the show could hit properly, but
yeah,
that's not realistic. People know.
I think it is.
People know. You should go back and watch.
My kids don't know who Bill Cosby is. And we could start watching right now, and then they would think maybe it was a cool show.
Possibly, but at some point they're going to figure it out. And then all of that, it's like, what the fuck? Then they question all that messaging. So yes, at this point they don't know. And I guarantee if you went and watched it, anytime there was a message of being a good person or looking out for each other, all you would think of is like, whoa, that dude drugged women and raped them.
It's so scary.
That's all. So the messaging just leads you right there. You can't do anything about it. That show is done. It's not like
such a shame.
It's not like Tim Allen being a conservative.
I guess some people feel that way about that, right?
I mean, there's some people who would treat it. I'll never watch.
I thought Buzz was a Democrat. Now I find out. Now all of his goodwill, he would want, Jesse to get an abortion. Oh no, I guess he wouldn't want that. Shoot, I'm confused.
Yeah, he wouldn't. Same thing with Mike Rowe, the Dirty Jobs dude.
Yeah.
He's a pretty smart guy, and he writes thoughtful pieces. It's like, hey, just think about your existence and place in this world. But fuck you, Mike Rowe. You hate women and black people. Like, I didn't say any of that.
Yeah.
But you do.
I know. It's crazy. Like, I judged myself a little bit for it the other day at the Easter egg hunt for the children at the school. There was this guy, and he was dressed really nice. Like, he was dressed in this like nice crisp blue suit, and he was like touting for some Republican candidate. And he was really young, which was really strange to see like a super young Republican guy. And he was talking about how the guy, my mom ended up talking to him, and he was saying that his candidate, cares about you and is a Christian and stuff like that. And the second he said Christian, I walked away because I was like, you're not going to protect my reproductive rights. So I'm out. And I don't know his stance at all, but I just assumed, and I don't think I would necessarily be wrong. But
it's a fair assessment. I think it's a fair assessment.
I know it is fair, but it still feels like, but maybe I shouldn't have.
You should have asked, judged. At least asked first. What's your stance on this? And then when he told you what his stance was, then you could have said, oh, exactly.
Well, my mom, she asked him, like, are you going to stop Trump? And I was like, well, you can't. There's no.
I am. I'm a young boy entering this political arena, and I'm going to go stop Trump. Maybe, though. Maybe there's a new.
You can't stop him. He's already, like, either he's done after this, or there's some weird shit that might happen, but I doubt it. And then there's no stopping him. He's already there.
Well, he's going to tank the economy, which he's obviously already underway. And then, a few other of his policies are going to create mass protests in the streets. He wants to really drive it up. So he wants George Floyd times 30, and then he'll declare martial law, and he'll never, ever stop martial law. That's the plan.
That's the plan?
Yeah, you haven't heard about that plan?
No.
That's one of the plans.
Martial law?
Yeah, where he just gets the military involved and he takes over everything, and what he says goes, because there's a state of emergency and chaos in the country, and he's got to get it under control. That's what's coming.
Okay. Well, I will be at home not paying attention to that.
My feelings on Trump aside, I think he's too lazy for something like that. I just don't. Yeah. I don't think.
That's a good point.
I don't think that. I think that's too much work. It's too much for him.
And he's getting old, getting a little tired.
He's just a guy who wants the fame and doesn't want to put in a lot of work to do it. I think being president, it's not a good thing. I think as a president, you should be working a lot. But I feel like he's like, whatever. I'll say this, you do that. You tell me what to you're doing. I'll agree or disagree. If I disagree, you can't do it. If I agree, you can go ahead and do it. But then I'll take ownership. I'll say it's my idea. I'm on the golf course. See ya. You know where to find me.
Does he play a lot of golf? I know he did before. I didn't know if, like, as a president, does he play more than anyone else or less? Or
yeah, there's stories of him even at work in the White House. Like he just comes down late and goes up early to the residence. Like, I'm done. It's like, that was 2 hours, Mr. President. Yep, I put in my work for the day.
Okay.
He just doesn't really want anything that comes with it outside of the ability to say, I'm the president of the United States. Very
weird world we're in.
It is strange, but it's Eve's fault.
Yeah. It's Meghan Markle and Eve. Well, Eve the rapper, not even Eve, biblical Eve.
She should have never left Suits, but she done because the royal family prohibited acting, apparently.
They did?
I don't know if that's true. That's what people said.
It kind of makes sense. It's like it brings down the prestige a little bit.
Especially when you're on a USA show.
Yeah.
Successful as it was. So she left, and in the show she was married to Mike, the guy without the degree. And
was she a decent actress?
No. I don't think so. I think you act with your eyes, or your eyes are a big part of it. I think her eyes were just dead.
Her eyes are a little dead. Did she get another season of her stupid Pinterest show?
I have no clue. I'm not following that.
Oh, it's so good. You should watch it.
I can't.
It's real fun.
The acting in Suits in general. Sex and the City was on E one night. I was in bed. I was trying to fall asleep, and then Suits came on, and then I never watched an episode. It was like one of the middle seasons, but I was like, what this character is so stupid and over the top, and look the way these people are acting. This thing is so melodramatic. Yeah. There's a lot of big reveals and twists that happen constantly, and they hold on the actor's face longer than they should in a close-up so you can gauge the reaction to this big news that was just dropped on them. And there's no sting added to it like a soap opera would have. So usually the big twists and turns in soap operas, you get a so that doesn't exist. So they treat it like it's more grounded. It was just this weird, fascinating show because I knew people liked it, but in my mind, it's like, it was a USA show. It's like, what?
Oh yeah, no bueno,
stupid. And then I just started watching it, and everything I said is still true.
Okay.
But there's an interesting premise up front. It's the dude being hired without a degree because he impressed the right person. It's like, okay, none of that's real. But like the whole show's nothing about the show is real. Anyone who's a real lawyer I was reading about, it's like, this show is dumb as fuck. None of this.
Oh my God.
What was that?
Sorry. Oh my God. Pete scared me to death.
I'm so sorry.
Whew. He tapped me on my shoulder, and then he's here to show me his scorpion. That's amazing.
I pissed my pants.
Wow, man, you scared me to death.
Sorry.
It's okay. That's so cool looking.
Yeah.
He got a Lego set for Easter.
Yeah, that probably cost $180.
Well, the Easter Bunny brought it.
No, yeah, the Easter Bunny.
Oh, that scared me to death.
That endless line of credit. Thank you, Easter Bunny, for doing all this shopping. Glad you're buying
thank you.
Legos. So, we're at an hour.
Really quick, I just thought when you were going to make an analogy with Sex and the City and Suits and talking about like the sort of stuff that you'll forgive from Sex and the City, but when it's on Suits, it's like, oh, it's so ridiculous, over the top.
Well, Sex and the City always positioned itself as kind of a comedy too. There was at least that level, that layer of it. If it wasn't straight up comedy, so you can get away with more. But Suits became a good background show. It's like one of those things. It's like, all right, I don't really need to pay attention to this, but I'm kind of invested, and I hate the fact that I am invested, and I can't believe I'm watching this fucking show.
But now you have more insight on evil Meghan Markle.
I mean, in the show, she's the nicest character around. She doesn't even have a lot to do early on. She only gets scenes with the one guy, Mike. They don't even let her interact with anyone else.
Really?
She works in the office as a paralegal, but
Uh-huh.
Yeah, the first season, maybe season and a half, 2 seasons. Her scenes are severely limited to.
Interesting.
It's like, yeah, you're not important enough to act with the full ensemble.
Right.
Your relationships with this guy, and we're going to grow that. But then it opens up and she gets more to do. And then she moves to Seattle because she married Harry. And then the other guy says, well, my character's done. There's nothing more for me to do. But it is weird because they invested all this time into their relationship, and to have her move to Seattle and he just sticks around wouldn't make sense anyway. But you lose the dynamic, and then it's an instance of the show going on way too long. You could argue it already went on too long with them in the cast.
Is it still on?
No, it wrapped after 9 seasons. And then but there's like a Suits LA now.
Just squeeze money out of there.
Yeah, got to get more. That's that again.
And CSI LA MTGA.
Again with this show. It's like, why is this still going on? You lost like one of the main characters. And one of the reasons people liked it was his dynamic with another character. Mm-hmm. And you don't have that anymore. It's like, doesn't matter.
Yep, still going.
Keep going. So, all right, we're at an hour 10. We didn't do the fucking intro.
Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg Russ. I say it every time, but look back at this show. Was there one topic? There was not. This was probably the most egregious.
Yeah, this was many
deviation of. You should say, "Welcome to Potato Sandwich."
Welcome to Potato Sandwich, where we talk about whatever.
Much better.
Okay.
Now you have to do the outro.
Oh. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. This outro is in the right place, unlike the intro. Goodbye.